Is this the end of Prop 13 protections for a rental property? What does Prop 19 mean for a rental property or a vacation home? If you own a commercial property and you want to leave it for the next generation. So many of our clients, they're not ultra high net worth. They scrapped and they saved. And you might relate to this. Did you just work your butt off? Save money here. You didn't go on the nicest trips. You didn't always get the nicest meals. You saved and you bought. You were lucky enough to get a rental property. And you're hoping that that rental property will be there for your son or for your daughter. Or maybe you have a child with a disability or special needs, and you want that to be there just as that safety net. Prop 19 means that there are zero protections unless you plan. And again, there are ways we can do this for protecting low property taxes for anything other than your primary residence. Even the primary residence only has limited protections. We do a lot of work in the special needs planning space. If you have a child who can't support themselves, who can't earn a lot of money because of a disability or some issue, you have a son with autism or a daughter with Down syndrome, you want to make sure there's that safety net. You need to have a special needs trust, but you need some money in it, or you need something that can generate income to pay living expenses. So I want to tell a story about the client. We'll call her Sarah. And Sarah's daughter has Down syndrome. And Sarah set up a special needs plan to make sure that her daughter's taken care of. But the core of what she wants to leave for her daughter is a fourplex that she has in San Jose. But she bought it a long time ago, and the property taxes are really low, $2,000 a year, but the property's worth over $1.7 million. And it kicks out some decent income. It's not great, but some solid income. She luckily learned about Prop 19 through some of our talks and met with us. And we were able to develop a plan to keep the taxes low. But keep in mind, if she didn't do this, property tax would go up to about $20,000 a year. And I think after expenses, the fourplex was only earning $30,000 or $40,000 a year. And she wants it to be there to support her daughter with Down syndrome over the long term. So we were able to set up a plan to keep those taxes low, which means that it's profitable, that it will provide that safety net for her daughter. But without that, they would have probably had to sell it. It wouldn't have been economical to keep it. So I just want to emphasize again, if you have a child with special needs or a child you're worried about, and you want that duplex or that fourplex or whatever it is to be there to support them with some income, maybe it's for multiple kids. But when property taxes shoot up, maybe that property is no longer economical to keep. So let's say it's a $2 million rental property, fair market value property, the assessed value is $200,000. And if the parents can step in and do planning for this and keep the taxes low versus not plan, the difference can be profound. The difference over 10 years between planning and not planning can be over $200,000 in property taxes, over 20 years, almost $500,000, over 30 years, over $800,000 for one property. We need to understand Prop 19 and understand there's steps we can take. There's a lot that we can do, luckily, or otherwise properties have to be sold. So you need to understand this. And again, stay tuned for more information here. And if you have a comment or question, leave it here. If you don't fix this problem, and we can fix it, that's why we're talking about this. We wouldn't just talk about a problem if we didn't have a solution. But this will often force the sale of a property, and keep in mind, if you structure it properly, you'll get a stepped up basis, or your child will, so they could sell a property with no capital gains taxes, but they need somewhere to live. So if you buy another property, even if it's cheaper, property taxes are probably going to be a lot higher than if we just locked in the low property taxes for what you already have. Very easy to find us. You can find us 650-493-807 or gilfix.com. And for those of you who haven't, subscribe to our Gilfix Law YouTube channel. Very easy to find. It's growing. As my mom likes to say, I hope everybody stays safe, sane, and healthy. I'm Mark Gilfix. Take care.